going to start with just looking at football real quick. What kind of case can you make for Jalen Walker as a rookie to make such an event?
He's been balling, man, and I'm so happy for his success because I see it at practice. I see how hard he works. So, hey, if it happens, it happens. But we're just focusing week by week.
When you come back to a game like yesterday, where it's just frustrating, I can imagine. But what are your emotions on it? I mean, just the strong season that you and Brandon have had in the center, man. But it's like not all the pieces are kind of fitting together necessarily. But just what are your emotions right now?
It definitely is, man. It's tough. Like, nobody wants to go out there to lose, and me, especially, I hate to lose. Like, it ruins my Monday, But at the end of the day, you can't have that mindset. You just got to move on to the next week. But, it's always you just go back to the drawing board. Just go back to watch the tape, go back to practice, and fix whatever needs to be fixed, We're all grown men, and we all can take accountability. Me, myself, too. I have to play better out there in order for us to win. So, I'll just go do that and take that into practice and take that into the next week.
When it comes to the kind of progress that you and Brandon have made just in the middle, I mean, obviously you guys basically have the red shirt your last year, and then you come in this year, and then you have the standout performances, and you guys are just playing really good ball. What have you seen from you two in particular about your development?
I would say just the work that was put in, and we're just scratching the surface. I would say this is not even nothing. Speaking for me myself, this is not even. This is not where I know I could be, and where I want to be. But stuff like that, you gotta build brick by brick, man. And you just gotta keep chopping wood, keep sharpening that axe, and just keep going.
And then kind of on that same note, you have the two young edge rushers, and we talked a lot about these four-man rushes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It seems like that's kind of coming around, and it's just the development of this pass rush unit's got fans very excited. Just what do you think about that unit?
Yeah, it definitely is. The more you get a chance to do it, the more you guys mold together. And so I just feel like. Very thankful for Brick. He's given us the opportunity to go out there and showcase our talents. The more we do it together, the more we'll just be on the same page, and there'll be a lot more plays to be made out there.
Did the coaches say anything about how y'all can, close out some of these games?
I mean, most definitely. You just watch the tape and you see sometimes it's one play, sometimes it's two plays, but there's just a lot of plays that are left out there that we as a team could do better. And, that's our job, to go out there and win for the fan base, win for the team. And, that's what we're striving to do. So we're just going to go back to the drawing board and take it into this week.
How much of a point of pride is it to be able to, when you win as four only, to rush?
It takes a lot of pride because it's essentially 4-on-5, and we try to draw it up to where at least two to three get one-on-ones. And when you get that drawn up and it's executed the right way, then it's up to us to win that. And, we take pride in winning those, and that's what we're going to continue to try to do.
What do you know about the Seattle team? Most early in the week and all, but next opponent, you got to move on to them at this point.
They have a great quarterback, a great receiver over there. They have a good O-line. They run a lot of their run game is very gimmicky, I would say, and in terms of just a lot of movement, a lot of pulling and things like that. But that's just I'm gonna watch some more tape today and watch some more tape tomorrow, and then I'll have a clearer answer for you.
A lot of eye candy.
Yeah, a lot of eye candy. So we just have to stay disciplined.
Of course, the goal is to always win, to make the playoffs, ultimately the Super Bowl and things like that. But given where this team is, do you kind of set more concrete small goals, like baby steps are big steps to just build from here on out?
Yeah, for sure. I would just you said it perfectly. Baby steps are big steps, and I kind of look at I'm from Detroit, so I look at the Lions. I remember one season they were like 1-16 or like 2-16, something like that. 0-16, something like that. And then the next 2 years they went on to win the NFC or whatever it was. And so, I feel like me personally, I live my life on everything happens for a reason. So I feel like this right now is happening for a reason. We don't know that reason yet. It's bigger than us, but we're just going to keep chipping away until something happens.
What's one area where you would like to improve in these last 5 games and see like concrete evidence of that?
I would just like to say just putting it all together. Okay. Just finally putting it all together and just going out there and playing free.
When it comes to things in the ways that you've developed just over the last year and a half or so, where would you play to?
I would just say for one, getting used to playing on Sundays, because I was talking to my mom, and I was like, I haven't been to church in like 15 weeks, and she was like, you play on Sundays. And I was like, but we can get so caught up in the season, you forget what day of the week it is. Like, you just know it's game day, And so I would say just getting used to being in the league and the way practice runs and just understanding that it's work,
And then that next step for you, what do you see?
That next step is I would just say just putting it all together. like just finally putting it all together, figuring out what works best for me in terms of my routine, in terms of how I'm going to approach the off season and stuff like that. Because this last off season, my first off season, having no class, and so that was such a shocker for me that I didn't have to go to class. And so, just putting a full year together.
And then how cool is it to rush next to a guy like Brandon?
It's so cool, man. Just because I remember us talking rookie year, like, dang, we can't wait to get on that field. And when we get on that field, we're going to just put it all out there. And just especially seeing his growth and seeing him as a player, man, is so inspiring to me.
How special is that bond, like between you and Brandon? But then you also see like Jalen and James, where they're the same position from the same draft class.
Yeah, it's very special. I think it's kind of the same. Me and him got drafted in the same draft class, and so did JP and Walk. You kind of just have that bond automatically because you guys are just both thrown into it at the same time and at the same pace, same coaching, and so pretty much you guys go through the same stuff.
Are you too
and
competitive?
So, yeah, we're very competitive, and right now he's up there in the sack race, so I just got to keep chipping away these last 5 games.
I'm sure special teams are going to be an emphasis this week. How do you evaluate recent film, especially on coverage, and kind of limit these explosive returns that have been coming up?
Yeah, the biggest thing on special teams is just doing your job. And, I mean, you like a lot of things, but you're 1 of 11, and if one person's outside of their gap, I mean, they can create a hole. And so that's the biggest thing, and that's the emphasis, making sure guys do their job.
And when you look at film altogether and you want to make sure everyone's doing their job, is it kind of like where y'all are close and you can not call each other out, but hold each other accountable, like, hey, like, you missed this, or you could be better here, and like help each other in those ways? Or is it more so kind of Marquise and your coaches doing that?
I mean, I think Coach Marquise sets the direction, and beyond that, I mean, it's very much a matter of, hey, like, in order for all of us to get our job done as a collective whole and be able to stop returns or great returns, yeah, it goes back to the individual doing their job. And so there is an aspect of holding each other accountable. And I do think we have a lot of guys that are working to be their best. And so I think with that comes the ability to be able to call each other out and single people out if they aren't doing their job, and be able to communicate that.
Raheem's talked a lot about just the next man up mentality. I mean, of course, this special teams unit's lost like Carol Hodge. I mean, it's lost D'Angelo Malone, Josh Woods at various points in the season. I mean, what have those guys meant to this unit, and like just kind of like break that down for fans to understand?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of really good special teams players, and anytime someone goes down, there's just an opportunity for the next guy to come in and make plays. And so, I mean, I think across the season, I mean, offense, defense, special teams, it's always going to be, that next man up. And I mean, you put a lot of people on the rosters. There's obviously like clear starters, but those next guys that aren't necessarily that day one starter, they need to be able to play special teams. We need to be able to play it to the best of our abilities and make sure we're making the plays that we need to get done.
Can you explain where the breakdown was on that big 80-plus yard return? Have you watched the films back yet?
Yeah, I've definitely watched the film. I mean, there's just people. You got to avoid kick side is one of the biggest things we talk about, and then if you are kick side, you need to be able to lever the ball back. And so between those two things, like, we got to make sure that you're beating your block, and if you're not beating them, you're driving them back so that it shortens that gap or closes that gap, and you're able to play. We talk being able to play 2 gaps essentially, and so if you can't beat your guy upright right now, you need to be able to go speed to power and be able to be playable on the next gap.